Hi everyone, it's Jessica. Today is April 12th, 2015, and this is VEDA Day 12. I've had a few people in the last couple of months ask me how I set up and schedule the BFC 530 Twitter chat, and so I thought since I'm doing a vlog every day in April, that might make a good video. So as best I can, I'm going to try to show you the different pieces that go into scheduling the 5 days every week, and to show you just the different tools that I use to do it. For those of you who don't know, BFC 530 is the breakfast club. It happens at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and then again at 5:30 Mountain Time, Monday through Friday. It's an education Twitter chat with a really great community of educators from all over the country, and actually we even have some people from around the world. We have people who join from India, New Zealand, Australia, Lebanon, Ghana, are just a few of the countries that we also have friends who join us from. So the thing that's a little bit different about this Twitter chat is that it's 15 minutes long. It's just one question. It's considered a spark chat, so there's just one question, and then there's just one formal reply that you give. But the great thing about it is that once you reply to the question, that sort of sparks really great conversations. And so the 15 minutes often turns into 30 minutes. A really, really good chat sometimes even goes 45 minutes. So we have a lot of great conversations and discussions that are happening just around that one question or that one topic that gets posed in the morning. The other thing that's a little bit different about it is that all of the topics are submitted by the community members. So the only things that we talk about are the things that the community members say they want to talk about. So they can submit a topic and ask to moderate, and then once their topic comes up, I reach out to them, get them scheduled, and so you'll have 5 different moderators with 5 different topics every single week, and then you sometimes will have more than one moderator on a day if there's somebody who can only do the Mountain Time chat or only do the Eastern Time chat, which actually a lot of our community is in that situation because Eastern Time chat is 3:30 in the morning here in Colorado or in Mountain Time. So those people who find the Mountain Time chat a better time for them often don't find 3:30 or 4:30 in the morning a good time to moderate. So sometimes if there's someone who can only do one chat or the other, I will then reach out to a second moderator and ask if they can moderate that person's topic for them. So kind of a lot that goes on in getting all of those things scheduled, but it's a pretty streamlined process now because we've been doing it for a while, and so I think we've kind of got it down to a science, at least that works for us. There are probably lots of efficiencies that we are missing out on, but this seems to work the best of all of the things that we tried. So let me just kind of show you a little bit of what happened. So the first thing that happens is that if somebody wants to submit a topic and they have an idea for something that they want to discuss, then they'll go to the Breakfast Club website, click on Chat with Us. You'll notice that we have a lot of forms, and that's because we want a lot of feedback from the community, constantly creating forms and asking for opinions and feedback, and just making sure that there are lots of open channels for people to share their ideas and to really be a community-led chat. It's not my chat, it's not anyone's chat, it's our chat. BFC is really about the community. So this form just asks some questions. What's your Twitter handle? What's a topic you'd like to lead? When your question comes up, can you moderate? And that's where they can say which chats they can moderate. We do have some people who they've dubbed themselves the double dippers, and they come to Eastern Time and then again to Mountain Time. We have several people in that situation, which is really fun. And then can you moderate someone else's topic during your time zone? So these would be the situations where I'm looking for someone to moderate someone's topic at Eastern Time or at Mountain Time. We don't need a topic necessarily, but I keep a list of people who I can reach out to and say, hey, can you lead this topic on this day? And the community is always so great, and no one has ever said no to me, so it's a really wonderful group of people. And then just other comments or questions that you'd like to share. Again, we want to hear from the community. Once that form gets submitted, it goes into our responses, and so this is my crazy spreadsheet of things that people have submitted as topics. Some people wonder, well, I see that you have things even that date all the way back to November. You have things in December, January, February. How come you're choosing topics from closer to the bottom of the list? That's because there's a lot of things going on in this spreadsheet that just sort of are things that I keep in my mind. So I keep track of who has moderated. You'll notice that some people, when they submit the form, they might submit several questions at once. So you can see, if you look here, these are all the same person. Greg submitted 2 at the same time. Lindsay submitted a few at the same time. So you'll notice that a lot, that people will get sort of inspired to go and fill out the form, and they'll just generate all these great ideas and put them into the form, which is awesome. But we try to keep things spread out a little bit. So, I try not to choose the same moderator within the same 3 or 4 week period at least. I try to keep it different. Doesn't always happen that way. Partly just because sometimes I just need to get 5 people scheduled in and I don't remember that someone led a couple weeks ago. But I do my best to keep track of that in the archive. So what happens is let me just kind of back up a little bit and show you how we manage this. So what I will do is I'll go in here and I'll pick as much as I can. I try to choose a mix of someone who can do Eastern only, someone who can do Mountain only, and someone who can do both. It doesn't always work out that way because we have more people who chat at Eastern time than at Mountain time, and we only have a handful of people who are available at both times. You know, a lot of our Eastern time educators are already at school and working by the time that the Mountain time chat happens, so they're not always able to jump in, which is fine. And so a lot of times you'll see more Eastern time than others, but I try to make a balance of it, partly for my own ability to kind of make sure that everybody's covered, partly because if I'm not able to find somebody to moderate someone else's topic, what I do is I auto schedule those topics to drop at 5:31 in the morning so that people can still discuss them. That's one of the amazing things about our community, is that really the moderator is mostly there to just encourage conversations, to reply to as many people as possible. That's one of the values of BFC, is that everybody who shares a response to the question gets a reply. And that might just be, good morning, how are you today? Or it might be starting a conversation with them about their topic. But something that happens in a lot of Twitter chats is that there's a lot of just sort of white noise, and people sometimes feel lost in the amount of people who are there. And they sometimes feel like, even though they're trying to share their voice, they don't necessarily feel like they have a strong voice because no one's talking with them. And so as much as it's valuable to think about the questions and answer them on your own, there's an added benefit to having a conversation when someone else sees your reply. And it just feels good to know that when you're in a chat, that you really are part of a community, and that people hear you and people are interested in what you're saying, and it resonates with them as well. So that's one of the values of BFC, and we really try to encourage that. That is the main reason that we try to have those moderators there leading their topic. And also, it's really exciting to have someone who submitted the topic be the one to lead the topic and the conversations, because they're already passionate about that question. That's something that's relevant and meaningful to them. It's on their minds. And so they tend to foster really amazing conversations because they're really excited and passionate about that topic, and they're sharing that passion with the community. So that's another reason that is, as much as possible, I try to have the moderators leading the chat. But like I said, sometimes that's not possible. And so the reason I try to spread out Eastern, Mountain, and both is because I don't ever want to leave 3 days in a row that group of people chatting without having a moderator. So, I try as much as I can to have someone in there who's kind of keeping the conversations going. So going back to here, what happens is I go through this spreadsheet. Again, I think about the balance of Eastern, Mountain, and both. I look for people who haven't moderated in a while. I also, if there's unfortunately, I'm not able to be at the Eastern time chat, which really bums me out because it's an amazing group of people, and, I really love being connected with them. But we have new people coming into the community constantly, which is really awesome. But a lot of times, because I'm not in Eastern time chat, I'll go through and look at the Twitter handles and I won't recognize them. So what I do if I don't recognize someone is I go and look them up on Twitter. I see when was the last time that they were chatting. So I actually use the Twitter advanced search. I don't know if anybody's familiar with this, but I love the advanced search. So I'll put in the hashtag and I can search BFC 530, and then from these accounts, I can put in somebody's Twitter account. That's my account. And if I search for it, I can go to all, and I can see the most recent time that they were in BFC. There's no requirement for how often you're on there, but sometimes by the time someone's topic comes up, if I don't recognize them, I'll search and I'll see that maybe they haven't been to BFC since February, and being that it's April, I'll kind of try to use my best judgment, and usually I'll reach out to that person, not for this week's chat, but I'll see if they're still interested maybe for a future chat. Sometimes they say, no, I'm sorry, I haven't been able to come, it's too early for me, or whatever the case might be, which is totally fine. And then I'll just take that topic off of the spreadsheet, and then there's actually a sheet on here for unused topics and things that haven't been able to be led for the chat, and so I'll put them in here, and that way they don't just get deleted, but I'm keeping a record of the ones that haven't come up where people chose not to lead them. So once I find people who I want to schedule for the week, I go in and I highlight them. So, just because I choose something doesn't mean someone can lead that particular week. And so I go in and I highlight in orange the 5 topics that I think that I want. I actually need to pick one more on here. And so I was looking, to find 5 people again who were kind of spread out for the week. And so once that happens, then I go ahead in and it goes into the upcoming. So this is the 5 topics that happened last week, and these were our moderators. So I'll just go ahead and I'll move these over into the archive. This is the archive since November, and it's just indefinite. We just will keep adding to it. So now that those are in there, I can actually delete them from here. And then I can go back and I can copy these topics. So I can pull them out of here and I plop them into the upcoming for the following week. And that is my way of being able to manipulate which days that they're going to be participating. So I can move this around, and so I can look and see, here we have 2 that are back-to-back Eastern only. So I might actually move one of these, down a little bit farther and try to spread it out a little bit. And so that's what happens. So I'll put the 5 in there, and then they stay orange. And the orange basically indicates I've chosen these, but I haven't confirmed that they're available. Then, once those are in there, what I will do is I'll just reach out to them on Twitter. So I'll copy their Twitter handle, especially if it's somebody who I don't connect with really often, and I'll make sure that I have the right person. So yes, this is Dawn. I know that she's one of our BFCers, and so I'll go ahead and send a direct message to Dawn. And so I'll just say, hi, and I'll try to type properly, would you like to mod BFC on Monday with your topic? So sometimes people have multiple topics that they put in, or they may just not remember what they had submitted. So I'll say, with your topic about poetry ideas and resources. About poetry ideas and resources. Would you like to mod on Monday? Yep, Dawn. Okay, send the message. Oh, and so then this happens a lot. So you'll see down here, it says, this user doesn't follow you. It's okay. I don't expect everybody to. There are lots of times where I end up communicating with people all the time on BFC, and because I check in with them so frequently through the hashtag, I'll actually notice, oh, I'm not even following this person. So I think that's kind of funny. But if that's the case, if they're not following me, then I'll just change it to a tweet, and then I'll send it that way. It's the same exact thing. And then all I add at the end is DM me if you're interested. And that way they will pull this conversation out of sort of the public area into the direct message, and then we can kind of get things set up. So I'll send that to Dawn, and then what I do is I just go through and I do that with everybody else. So I won't do that right now, but I'm going to go through. I still have to pick one more for Tuesday, and then I'll go through and message everybody and ask if they want to participate. Once the direct messages start coming in, so pretty quickly you can see that a lot of people, these are the ones that I've set up previously, so these were last week's messages about the chat. Once I've gone ahead and gotten messages from them, I'll confirm with them. And so, sometimes people will have questions. Well, I've never moderated before, so what do I need to do? So, we'll have a conversation about what the sort of, tips and tricks are for moderating. And then once they've said, yes, I can, then I usually will tell them, awesome, thank you so much. As soon as everyone in the week has confirmed, I will get back to you. And then I send them 2 tweets. I send them one tweet that shows, and I'll just pull up the one that I sent to Precious last week. So once I get everything confirmed, then I'm able to send them 2 tweets. I send them the topic that they are going to lead, and that gets dropped at 5:31 a.m. And so the tweet is today's topic. Then they say what the topic is and then put the hashtag. And then I also send them one to drop at 5:44 in the morning. So that's 1 minute before the chat ends. They drop the next day's topic. Once in a great while, I haven't been able to confirm in time for them to drop that. Also on Fridays, there's no next topic because I generally set all of this stuff up on the weekend. So on Friday, we don't know yet who's going to be moderating on Monday. 5:44, that one goes out because people have expressed interest in wanting to know what the topic is for the next day. And so that's what I have the moderator do. That's one of their sort of jobs, is to drop that. So once all of that is scheduled and I have 5, or if it's Sunday evening and I'm still waiting to hear from like one person, usually this is totally on me. It's not on the moderators. Like right now it's Sunday morning and I'm just now reaching out to people. Once in a while I can't even start doing it until Sunday afternoon. It's just, it happens and that's totally fine. And so once in a while there'll be 1 or 2 people who haven't confirmed yet. But if it's getting later in the Sunday evening, I'll go ahead and just move on to the next step and then fill in the people as they confirm. So the next step is that I have a spreadsheet that is for the bulk message uploads for Hootsuite. So I've tried so many different systems for this next sort of piece of things, and I haven't really found anything that works really, really well. And Hootsuite seems to be the lesser of the evils. It actually works quite well. There's a few things about it that are not ideal, but for the most part, it works pretty well. So the first thing that I do is you'll notice that there are 9 tweets that get automatically sent from the BFC530 Twitter handle. These ones get sent every single day at the exact same time. So you'll notice in here, we've got 3:20 a.m. That's because it's coming from my Hootsuite, so it needs to be set for Mountain Time. So the first tweet that drops every day happens at 3:20 a.m., so 10 minutes before the chat, the Eastern Time chat. It will alert people who's leading and what the topic is. Then at 3:30 a.m. or 5:30 Eastern, the Welcome to BFC tweet drops. Then at the end of the chat, there's a tweet that drops just indicating chat is over, and then we put different messages in here. Generally, it's Voxer. We do have, again, we have lots of forms. So if you go over to our website and click on Voxer, we actually have a form here where people can say their Voxer handle and their Twitter handle, and then they can get added to the Voxer group that we have. There's over 100, I think we have maybe 130 people in there now. Not everybody's active, which again is totally okay. I'm actually not very active in there. I just can't keep up with all the great conversations that happen. They just happen so quickly, and because the majority of people are on Eastern Time, the time difference, just the messages back up, and it gets a little overwhelming for some people. But it's a great place, and there's a great community in there who's having really good conversations. So we always invite people to join that Voxer community as well. And then at about 5 minutes after the chat has ended, there's another tweet that goes out encouraging people to go to the website and submit a topic. It's funny because I've found that when we're starting to get really low on topics, if I send that particular tweet from my personal account rather than the BFC handle, we get a lot more responses. There's something about that personal connection of it being me, the person, saying, guys, I really need help. We need more topics. Everybody just sort of like jumps to that call to action, and I end up getting a bunch of offers to moderate, which is so wonderful. But we still get a few, at least one a day, and usually on the weekend I'll notice we've gotten about 4 or 5 new topics from the week that have been submitted, which is great. I mean, as long as we have about 5 each week coming in, we have plenty of topics to cover the following week. So because we're a few weeks behind, it works perfectly. So then you'll notice that there's a jump from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. Now that's the Mountain Time chat. The exact same thing all over again. 10 minutes until, welcome to the chat, chat is over, and then submit a topic. And then this one is always in the evening, so it will drop a tweet from the BFC handle tomorrow. So-and-so leads BFC, here's what the topic is. You'll see when I can't confirm, when I'm scheduling the Hootsuite, but I haven't been able to confirm with someone yet, you'll notice that those asterisks are in the tweet. That's just so that I don't forget that I need to go back in. A few very perceptive BFCers have noticed once in a while that slips through and I forget to go back in and either delete it if it still hasn't been confirmed, or to put in the moderator in the topic. So I think twice, maybe 3 times, the BFC handle has actually tweeted out asterisks in the tweet. But you know, I'm human, it happens, things happen, and the community is always so great and says, I think something's wrong here, and then I can go in and fix it. So that's really wonderful. And then it happens all over again, and it's the same exact thing for 5 days in a row. The thing that I do, you'll notice that these dates, tomorrow is going to be the 13th. These are scheduled for the 6th. So what I do is a find and replace. And so I will start with 4/6/2015. That's the first one that I want to change. I'm going to replace that with the 13th because that's tomorrow's date, so Monday. And just in this sheet, I want to replace all. So you'll notice now I just scheduled Monday's dates for the 13th, and then I can go in and I just do that over and over again for all 5 days. So that helps me to really quickly change those dates, but the times are always staying in there the way that they need to be so that I don't have to type the dates over and over again. Then what I do is I start at the top here, and so I change the name of the moderator, and then I change the topic. One of the things that I don't like about the Hootsuite bulk message upload is that it doesn't let you have duplicate tweets on the same day. So if you try to upload something that has 2 tweets that are identical, it will bounce back and it will give you an error and you can't schedule any tweets. So the whole thing won't go through until all the errors are fixed. And so I have to alter the Eastern Time and the Mountain Time text so that it's different. So you'll notice this one says in 10, join this person, blah, blah, blah. And then it says join BFC in 10. So I just like flip flop some of the words, or, I'll change a few things here and there. It just helps to be able to get those messages uploaded. So then I go in, I change the text for all of these. Sometimes I change you know, the text of a couple of these ones. If I'm busy that weekend and I don't have time, then they just stay the same, and that's okay. But once in a while, if I have a little extra time, I like to just change them up a little bit. I try to make them as fun and positive as possible, you know, and just get people continuing to feel excited and inspired by the chat. And then once everything is scheduled in here, I can save that as a CSV. So I download this as a CSV, and then I can go into Hootsuite, and if I go into my publisher, I can actually do the bulk message upload, and I can change it. So right now this is my Twitter handle. I'm going to change it to the BFC handle and take my handle off. I can choose the spreadsheet. So I'm going to want this one here. I'm not sure if this is going to go through. There's probably some errors, but we can see. So then I click submit. Yeah, and so now it's going to show you, and I don't know why this is on here, but it's going to show you all of the errors that were in there. And I actually need to do it one more time. So you can see now, these are all the errors. So it's saying, so messages have to be at least 10 minutes from upload time. So that's because I didn't change the dates of all of them. So you'll see there's on the 8th and the 9th and the 10th, that's where the errors are. So, but what happens is once I get all the errors cleared out, and I've gotten it down to a science, so 9 times out of 10, I won't have any errors, which is really awesome. But you know, it took us a while to get to this point and figure it out. And then once we get everything uploaded, then those things will all be scheduled in here. So you'll actually see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all 9 tweets for each day. And then what happens is, so I'll just do sort of a fake one so that I can show you. So I'll say BFC 530 is awesome. Welcome to our chat. And so let's say that I want to schedule that for Monday, and I want it to go out at 5:30. This is another thing that I don't love about Hootsuite, is that you can only schedule every 5 minutes. So in TweetDeck, you can schedule to the minute. Hootsuite doesn't allow that. You can only do the 5 minutes, but it's okay. We make do. So 5:30 a.m. Sometimes I schedule them p.m. by accident. So you gotta make sure to change that. And then once you've gotten that scheduled, and this guy is in my way right here. I don't know why this is here. Let's close this. Thank you. Okay, so schedule. Now you'll see this tweet is in here. Once it's in here, you can edit. And so this is where once I upload all of the messages, another thing that it's supposed to be able to do, but it's super buggy and we've never been able to get it to work right, is you're supposed to be able to, in the spreadsheet, have a column for images and be able to attach images directly from here. We just have never been able to get it to work, but that's okay. So then I go in and I edit each tweet and I attach an image. So I can select from the BFC documents. You'll see these are all of the different images that we have. We have things that we've made. So, you know, a lot of times I'll do like a little meme, something kind of cute. We also have some Canva flyers that we've made that talk about just when the chat is and those kinds of things. My favorite ones are these ones that are actually the Breakfast Club from the movie. And so I'll just go in and choose one of those. But we have some really fun posters, and I need to make a few more as well. But sometimes I'll also just choose a quote. Sometimes I see quotes that I really like that you know, that really talk about, I mean, this one's perfect. One small positive thought in the morning can change your whole entire day. Yeah, hi, that's what BFC is. So, you know, sometimes we'll just choose an image, put that in there, and then once it's uploaded, goes through here, then you can confirm, yep, it's there, and then you can save it. So now this will have an image in it, and I'll go through and I'll do that. I try to do that as much as I can on the tweets that welcome people to the chat and to the tweet that happens at night. Sometimes I do it for the closing of the chat. It also depends, though, how long the topic question is. If there's too much text, I can't fit an image in there, and so then I just leave it without. But on the ones that have the shorter text, I'm able to fit an image. So once all of that is in there and taken care of, then that's pretty much it. So to kind of recap, the steps of scheduling BFC. People go to the website and they sign up to lead the chat. That goes into the form. I highlight in the form responses the 5 that we want to have. I put them in the upcoming after moving the upcoming into the archive. I keep them orange, and then as people, I keep them orange, and then I reach out to the moderators. So I'll contact them with a direct message on Twitter, see if they're interested. And so you'll see Dawn actually just followed me here, and she's saying, oh, I can't do Monday, but any other day is good. So this happens a lot. And so what I'll do is I'll say, okay, no problem. I'll go back over here and I'll move Dawn to Tuesday. That's a really easy change, because if I had already contacted Wednesday, Thursday, Friday moderators, then it would be a matter of contacting them and saying, can you trade with someone? So this just makes it a little easier because I actually didn't schedule that day yet. So I'll put her on Tuesday, and then I'll contact her back. And then I'll say, yep, absolutely, Tuesday, how about Tuesday? And then if she says, yep, that's good. So she's saying, I'm pretty new at this, so if there's someone else, that's okay. This happens a lot where somebody is new to Twitter and they come to BFC. It's one of my favorite things is that BFC is, again, this is part of our values and goes back to sort of what we try to create in BFC is that it's a really welcoming community and it feels like this little bite-sized chunk that you can bite off of Twitter. An hour-long chat at 7 p.m. is not always the way that people can find their entry point into a Twitter chat. And so we've found that a lot of people tell me this all the time. Like, I love BFC because when I was new to Twitter, I didn't know what was going on and there was so much craziness and it felt like manageable piece that I could latch onto. So people really enjoy that. And I love that we can be, I think similar to new teachers to Twitter. That's my favorite Saturday morning chat because it's a great community and they're so welcoming and they're just lovely people who are in there. And I really love that we're able to be like new teachers to Twitter, that welcoming, embracing, like, it's okay, we can help you, we're glad that you're here kind of a chat. But a lot of times with moderating, people feel kind of nervous and they're like, I don't know what to do. I've never moderated a chat before. So I'm like, it's okay. And then I have that conversation with them. Here are some tips and tricks. These are the things you need to know. I always tell people, reply to as many people as you can, but do not feel bad because you won't be able to reply to everybody, especially if you're moderating Eastern time. Both of our chats now are so big, they go by really quickly. You're not going to catch everybody, and that's okay because the community is also catching everybody. And so, a lot of times I scroll back through the Eastern time chat just to kind of check on things, and I'll see anytime someone says, it's my first time here, or I'm new to Twitter, if they express something, or if it's someone who I don't recognize from BFC, I'll click on their tweet and I'll see, did someone reply? Once in a while, someone didn't, and that's okay. I'll reply to them and say, oh, I'm so glad you could come to the chat this morning. Did you have fun? I hope you liked it. I hope that you'll come back. Just helping people to feel welcomed. But 9 times out of 10, someone's already replied to them from the community, which just makes me smile. I mean, it's just so fantastic that the community really takes care of itself. And that's, again, one of the special things about BFC. So, I'll in a little bit reply to Dawn and I'll give her all of that reassurance and help her understand what it means to be a moderator for BFC and kind of help her through that. But in any event, once you get all those things scheduled and then these ones, so Dawn actually just confirmed that, yeah, she can do that. So I would turn that orange background off and then be able to take care of going through all the different people who've shared and saying, yep, you're good to go, whatever. And then once I go through and make sure everyone's confirmed that, yes, I can lead that topic. So because Dawn can only do Eastern time, I'm going to go into my moderators sheet and I'm actually going to check. So these are people who've said, yes, I can help out. And there are some people who aren't on here who I just know in my head are always willing to help out. There's a huge group of people who are in that boat where they just, anytime you need anything, just let me know and I can help. And so I'll reach out to various people and say, hey, can you help with this? Or I need someone to just sort of support a new moderator on this day. Because once in a while, someone will be like, can someone moderate with me? I'll reach out to one of the regulars and say, can you kind of be moral support for this new moderator? They're a little nervous and they want to make sure someone's there with them. So these are some of the people who I'd reach out to. So because we have an Eastern time mod, but not a Mountain time mod, I'll go through this list and I'll say, hey, Deidre, can you lead this topic? Here's the question. And then Deidre, being the lovely person that she is, 99% of the time will say, yep, of course, I'm on it. And so then the whole process of giving them the tweets that they drop happens with them as well. And so they'll lead that other time. So once all of that is taken care of and I have the whole week scheduled, then I'll go into the bulk messages. I'll change all of those, save them as a CSV, upload them into Hootsuite. Once they're in Hootsuite, I'll go through and add the images in there. And that's it. Then the week is here and it's time to chat. And then rinse and repeat again next weekend. I have a few ideas of ways that I would like to streamline this even more and make it even more community owned. I've struggled a lot with how do I get other people to help with this because it's really because of the progression of the way that you have to reach out to people, wait for their response, then go in and schedule it. It's actually something we've found it's really tricky to share this part of the responsibility. And so it's sort of like from start to finish, it's easiest for one person to be doing that job. When you start trying to share that job, it gets tricky because if this person said, oh, I'll take care of Hootsuite, well, they're waiting for me to confirm 5 people for the week. And then I have to convey that message that this person's Eastern time only. I asked this person to do Mountain time, da, 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 da. And so it's almost like sharing that body of knowledge. It just gets a little tricky and it doesn't seem to actually make the process more efficient. In some ways, it almost adds more work to the process. And so that's something that I struggle with a lot because I have some people who keep asking me, geez, Jessica, how can we help you set this up? Because it's just so much work and we really want to support you with that. And I appreciate it so much when they offer, but it's tricky to know how to have people help with that. And the other thing is that it does involve having the passwords to the BFC account. And so, not that I don't trust anybody in the community, but then there's that other level of like, I've got to get all of that information to them and make sure that it's somebody who is willing, because some people don't want that responsibility, and I respect that completely. Some people just want to come and, hey, we'll help mod once in a while, but like, no, I don't want passwords to accounts, and please don't teach me how to use Hootsuite, and that's okay. I totally respect that. So anyway, if anyone has any brilliant ideas of how to make this process more efficient, other than just like sort of transferring all of the work to another person, I am all ears at any time. But it also is something that it keeps me connected. I'm not able to attend even the Mountain Time chat every day anymore. I need to sleep in sometimes. I have to stay up late and I'm working on something, and I need my sleep. So, and I'm never able to come to Eastern time. So sometimes, this is the way that I stay connected to BFC, and it keeps me involved, and I actually really enjoy that as well. So anyway, that's a super crazy long rambly message, but that's the process of BFC. I probably could record this again and do it more efficiently, but alas, it's Sunday and I have to get these moderators scheduled. So I hope that was informative and helpful to those of you who've been curious about the process. I also have a bunch of people who have asked me for tips and tricks about, I'm starting my own Twitter chat, can you help me out? And so this is also a good sort of behind the scenes of one aspect of how the chat gets managed. And so if anyone has any questions about that at any time, please let me know. I'd be happy to help. But these are just some of the tools and things that I use. So hope everybody has had a great Sunday, and I will talk to all of you tomorrow.